Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of trend lines. This is standard 8.5D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 4 off the 2022 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a scatter plot here. Shows the relationship between the weight in pounds and the age in weeks of a certain dog breed. So that makes sense that as the dog gets older, it's going to weigh more. I bet you could see a definite trend line, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So based on this scatter plot, what is the best prediction of the weight in pounds of a dog that's 28 years old? So we need to predict, which means we don't have the exact answer, and we're looking for a trend line. Okay, so that means, is there a pattern here? And can you find a way to draw a straight line that connects most of the dots? And if it doesn't connect necessarily all the dots, is it close to the dots? And I would highly suggest, if you're ever doing this with paper and pencil, you use a ruler so you can get a straight line. So I'm going to see if I can draw a line that connects or either comes close to connecting a good chunk of these dots, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start here down at the origin, and I'm going to kind of just move my way up. And trend lines aren't necessarily perfect. They're not going to capture most of the dots, but as you can see, it's pretty close to what we're dealing with. And it's interesting that it goes straight up. It's got a positive relationship. I would expect if this goes older, right, dogs don't continue to gain weight. Eventually they get full size. I would expect this, if we were to continue this, would kind of taper off like that a little bit, just because adult dogs typically kind of maintain their weight. But that's not what we're dealing with here. So we're looking for 28 weeks old. So if I'm looking for my weeks, it looks like my 28 is going to be right around there. So if I drew my trend line correctly, it's going to move it up here. And my estimate is right there. So we'll see what's close to that. So that looks like it's between the 70 and the 75. So if I had to guess, I'm going to say 73. But remember, it is a prediction, so it doesn't have to be 100% correct. Now, the interesting thing about this is there's a little bit of a gap there. There's a little bit of a gap here, but the largest gap is right here. And if you've ever done a problem like this in the past, typically the question will ask for you to plot something in that large gap, right? So when I first saw this problem, I was expecting 24 weeks, just because that's this gap right here. And I was expecting something right around there, just because that's the largest gap. But that's why we have to read each problem individually. We're looking for 28 weeks. And so I'm thinking 73. Let's take a look at our answers. 12 pounds. Wow. 12 pounds is not even really on the chart, because it goes like 12 pounds, kind of 15, and then it breaks, which means it kind of skips 12. So definitely not there. Well, G, 75. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, 75, if I drew my line a little bit higher, obviously, if I drew a little bit higher, I would get some of these dots up here, but I'd miss these dots at the end, but I could see that. So that's really close. 45. Wow. 45 is right here. So 45 and 28, that definitely would not work. And then I've got 105. Wow, so that's going to be way up here. Nothing, not even this very final one is going to be that big. It's a little bit below 105. All right, so my answer here is G.